Scorpio. Pause for a moment and feel the quiet movement beneath the surface. In the language of astrology, Scorpio carries the rhythm of transformation, the place in the zodiac wheel where life gathers its strength before becoming something new. Every cycle of change, every hidden turning point, seems to pass through this deep and powerful current. Within the story of the stars, Scorpio holds a unique space. While other signs illuminate beginnings or growth, Scorpio opens the door to rebirth, the moment when an old layer of life slowly dissolves and a stronger form begins to rise from beneath it. Many ancient astrologers spoke of Scorpio as the keeper of thresholds, the point where the unseen prepares the next chapter of the journey. Lately, the sky has begun to shift in subtle ways. Around March 16th and 17th, 2026, certain planetary movements start to create a quiet ripple through the energetic field connected with Scorpio. These moments rarely arrive with loud signals. Instead, they move like a slow current under deep water, steady, patient, carrying the promise of something unfolding just beneath awareness. For many Scorpio souls, this period feels different in ways that are difficult to fully explain. A sense of movement appears in the background of daily life, as if a hidden door somewhere in the distance has begun to open just slightly. Ideas arrive with new weight, encounters carry a deeper meaning. Small decisions begin to feel like they belong to a much larger story. Astrology often speaks in symbols rather than answers. The stars point towards cycles, and Scorpio stands at the center of one of the most powerful cycles of all, the moment when transformation gathers momentum. Sometimes that moment appears quietly, like the first shift of wind before a new season begins. And somewhere within that quiet movement, many Scorpio individuals begin to feel a question forming inside their own awareness. A simple question, yet one that carries a surprising amount of power. Are you ready to step into the next version of your path, Scorpio? Take a moment and place this simple affirmation in the comments to align with this new energy. 777, or I welcome the new chapter opening for Scorpio. Because once the energy of transformation begins to stir for Scorpio, the deeper story of this cycle slowly starts to reveal itself. And that is where the journey truly begins. Scorpio moves through the zodiac like a deep current beneath still water. Within the circle of 12 signs, Scorpio carries the pulse of transformation, the place where energy gathers its intensity before becoming something entirely new. In quiet ways, this sign holds the moment when life turns inward, where hidden layers begin to stir and reveal their depth. Across many ancient astrological traditions, Scorpio appears as a symbol of inner rebirth. Old texts often describe Scorpio as the chamber where the soul refines itself, where experience settles into wisdom through cycles of feeling, reflection, and awakening. Within this space, growth unfolds in ways that feel subtle yet powerful, like roots expanding beneath the earth while the surface remains calm. There is a certain mystery surrounding Scorpio in the zodiac wheel. While some signs move outward toward action or expansion, Scorpio draws energy toward the inner landscape, inviting awareness to travel through deeper emotional waters. In that movement, something meaningful begins to form, a quiet understanding of one's own strength. Astrologers have long observed that Scorpio marks a turning point in the rhythm of the zodiac. The journey reaches a depth here, a place where transformation feels personal and profound. Every cycle that flows through Scorpio carries a message about renewal, about the way life reshapes itself through layers of experience. For those who carry the energy of Scorpio, this symbolism often resonates on a very human level. Life tends to bring moments that invite reflection, moments that awaken a deeper awareness of identity and purpose. Each of these moments forms part of an unfolding path, one that gradually reveals the hidden dimensions of strength living inside the Scorpio spirit. There is also a quiet beauty in the way Scorpio interacts with change. Instead of rushing toward the surface, this sign moves with patience, allowing transformation to develop through depth and time. Like the ocean itself, Scorpio holds many currents at once: emotion, intuition, memory, and the steady movement toward renewal. Because of this, many astrologers view Scorpio as a gateway within the zodiac cycle. When new phases begin to emerge in life, the energy of Scorpio often appears nearby, guiding the process of release and renewal. It becomes the place where the old story softens and a new one begins to take shape beneath the surface. And somewhere within that deep movement, Scorpio begins to understand something quietly powerful. Growth carries a rhythm that unfolds from within, revealing layer after layer of awareness. As this realization begins to settle into the Scorpio journey, the next part of the story slowly comes into view. The cycles of challenge that shape the path even further. For many Scorpio souls, the journey through recent years has carried a certain weight, the kind that shapes a person slowly from the inside. Moments arrive that feel intense, layered, almost like life inviting Scorpio into deeper waters where clarity forms through experience. In astrology, these passages often align with the movement of two powerful forces in the sky, Saturn and Pluto. Saturn moves through life like a quiet teacher of time. Its energy carries structure, patience, and the steady rhythm of maturity. When Saturn touches the path of Scorpio, life begins to ask for focus, discipline, and a deeper understanding of responsibility. During these seasons, progress unfolds through effort and awareness. The pace slows just enough for Scorpio to recognize the value of endurance, the quiet strength that forms when someone continues forward through demanding terrain. Saturn shapes the backbone of character, layer by layer, moment by moment. Then there is Pluto, a planet whose presence carries a very different kind of gravity. Pluto speaks in the language of transformation, the slow reshaping of identity and purpose. Within the Scorpio journey, Pluto often stirs profound changes, inviting a deeper encounter with the truth of one's inner world. When Pluto becomes active around Scorpio energy, life begins to rearrange itself in ways that reach far beyond the surface. Old perspectives soften, new realizations rise from within. What once felt familiar begins to evolve into something richer and more aligned with the deeper self. For many Scorpio individuals, these cycles bring experiences that feel deeply personal. There may be seasons of emotional intensity, moments when life seems to guide Scorpio toward deeper reflection and understanding. Through these passages, something powerful begins to take shape, an awareness that strength grows through transformation. Each challenge adds another layer of insight. Each turning point reveals another dimension of resilience. Within the quiet interior landscape of Scorpio, these lessons settle into the soul like stones forming the foundation of something enduring. This is why astrologers often speak about Scorpio with a sense of respect and reverence. The path of Scorpio moves through depths that awaken wisdom over time. Every experience contributes to a greater awareness of self, a gradual unfolding of identity and purpose. If your journey already carried powerful lessons, share this in the comments. I kept rising. There is something profoundly human about that phrase, the quiet recognition of growth through experience. Many Scorpio stories hold this same rhythm, a steady rising through seasons that shape the heart and sharpen awareness. And as these cycles of Saturn and Pluto begin to settle into the past, the atmosphere around Scorpio starts to shift again. In astrology, the closing of one chapter often prepares the ground for another movement of the stars, and this is where the next signs in the sky begin to appear. As the deeper cycles of Saturn and Pluto begin to settle into their quiet completion, the atmosphere around Scorpio starts to shift in a subtle yet meaningful way. Astrology often describes this moment as the space between chapters, a pause where the energy of the past gently loosens its grip while something new begins to breathe beneath the surface. In this stillness, the sky slowly introduces a different rhythm. Within the language of the planets, expansion enters the stage through Jupiter. For centuries, astrologers have watched Jupiter move across the heavens with a certain promise of growth, opportunity, and wider horizons. When Jupiter begins to activate areas connected with Scorpio, life can start to feel slightly more open, as if new pathways quietly begin to reveal themselves. Jupiter carries the spirit of possibility. Its presence invites exploration, fresh ideas, and encounters that widen perspective. In the journey of Scorpio, this expansive current often arrives after seasons of transformation, like sunlight reaching the forest floor after a long stretch beneath dense branches. At the same time, another familiar force begins to stir: Mars. Mars brings movement, momentum, and the steady pulse of determination. While Jupiter opens the landscape of opportunity, Mars gives the inner fire needed to step forward into that space. Together, these two planetary energies create a powerful balance. Jupiter expands the horizon, while Mars provides the courage to move toward it. Within the life of Scorpio, this alignment often carries the feeling that something long prepared beneath the surface is finally ready to rise into motion. Many astrologers notice a pattern surrounding moments like these. Major turning points rarely appear without preparation. They tend to arrive after cycles of reflection and growth, when the inner world has matured enough to recognize the significance of a new opportunity. For Scorpio, this stage of the journey can feel like standing at the edge of a widening landscape. The emotional depth, shaped by Pluto, and the discipline cultivated through Saturn now meet the forward movement of Jupiter and Mars. Something inside begins to sense that the timing of life itself is shifting. Sometimes the signs of this shift appear quietly. A conversation sparks a new direction. A thought carries unusual clarity. A door that once felt distant begins to open with a gentle invitation. Within these moments, the energy of Scorpio often becomes especially powerful. The sign known for transformation now stands at the meeting point between preparation and expansion. Inner strength and cosmic timing begin to move together, creating a space where new possibilities can take form. There is a certain anticipation that grows in the air when planetary currents begin to align this way. The rhythm of the sky carries a quiet message, one that many Scorpio individuals begin to sense even before they fully understand it. And as this sense of expansion slowly gathers momentum, the timing of the sky itself begins to focus around a specific window of energy. A moment that draws attention to a pair of days when the atmosphere around Scorpio becomes especially alive. There are moments in astrology when time seems to gather itself into a small, meaningful window. For Scorpio, one of those windows begins to form around March 16th and 17th, 2026. The sky carries a subtle shift during these days, almost like a quiet breath moving through the larger rhythm of the zodiac. Astrologers often describe these periods as energetic crossroads. The larger cycles continue their movement, yet a particular alignment draws attention to a short stretch of time where possibilities begin to ripple outward. Within the experience of Scorpio, this can feel like a quiet awareness that something meaningful is beginning to stir. Around March 16th, 17th, the atmosphere surrounding Scorpio holds a gentle sense of momentum. New ideas may appear with surprising clarity, as if a thought that once lived quietly in the background suddenly steps forward into the light. These ideas carry the feeling of potential, small sparks of direction that begin to illuminate the path ahead. In some cases, this energy touches the realm of career and life direction. Opportunities may arrive through conversations, invitations, or unexpected moments of recognition. A single encounter can carry a depth of meaning, leaving Scorpio with the sense that the universe arranged the meeting with careful timing. There is also a particular sensitivity that begins to grow during this window. Scorpio often holds a natural awareness of subtle signals, and during moments like this, that awareness becomes even sharper. A brief interaction, a passing thought, even a feeling that arises during a quiet moment can begin to reveal layers of significance. Life rarely announces its turning points with loud declarations. Instead, many of the most powerful shifts begin in ways that appear small at first glance. A decision that feels simple, a conversation that lasts only a few minutes, a sudden realization that arrives during an ordinary day. Within the journey of Scorpio, these subtle moments often hold profound influence. The energy of transformation tends to move quietly before revealing its full power. In many ways, Scorpio understands this rhythm instinctively, sensing the importance of moments that others might easily overlook. Because of this, the days around March 16th and 17th invite a deeper awareness of life's signals. Every interaction carries the potential for meaning. Every idea carries the possibility of becoming something larger. For Scorpio, this window of time feels almost like standing near the edge of a doorway that has just begun to open. The light from the next chapter reaches through in soft, gradual waves, inviting curiosity and attention. If you feel this shift approaching, place this number in the comments: 888. Sometimes a simple gesture like that creates a quiet moment of alignment, a small acknowledgement of the energy moving through your journey as a Scorpio. And as this brief window of time begins to pass, something even more interesting starts to reveal itself. The deeper source of strength within Scorpio that allows these opportunities to take root and grow. There is a quiet principle that runs through astrology, one that many people begin to understand only after living through several cycles of change. Prosperity rarely appears as a random gift from the sky. In many cases, it begins much deeper, forming within the inner landscape of a person's awareness. For Scorpio, this inner landscape carries an unusual depth. The energy of Scorpio moves inward before it moves outward. It observes, senses, and absorbs the emotional undercurrents of life with remarkable clarity. Through this depth of perception, Scorpio develops a kind of awareness that slowly becomes a powerful inner compass. This awareness often grows through experience. Each transformation that Scorpio moves through leaves behind a layer of insight, a quiet understanding of what truly matters. Over time, these insights gather together, forming a strength that feels calm, grounded, and quietly certain. Within the zodiac, Scorpio has long been associated with the ability to regenerate energy. When life changes direction, Scorpio finds a way to reshape itself and continue moving forward with renewed purpose. This capacity for renewal becomes one of the most powerful forces within the Scorpio spirit. In moments of challenge, this strength often reveals itself in subtle ways. Scorpio begins to see possibilities where others see confusion. A situation that once felt overwhelming slowly transforms into a source of clarity and determination. Within this transformation, a deeper confidence begins to rise. Many astrologers describe this as the silent magnetism of Scorpio. When inner awareness becomes strong, the energy surrounding a person begins to shift as well. Opportunities appear in ways that feel aligned with personal growth, almost as if life itself responds to the depth of transformation taking place within. For Scorpio, this process rarely feels rushed. Growth unfolds like a steady current beneath the surface, shaping perception and strengthening resolve. The more deeply Scorpio understands its own nature, the more clearly the path ahead begins to reveal itself. There is also a calm power in the way Scorpio holds its experiences. Every challenge, every turning point, every moment of reflection becomes part of a larger evolution. Through this quiet accumulation of wisdom, Scorpio begins to embody a presence that naturally attracts opportunity and expansion. In astrology, this inner alignment often becomes the true beginning of prosperity. When awareness, resilience, and purpose move together, the outer world starts to mirror that harmony. Doors begin to open, ideas begin to flourish, and new directions appear with surprising clarity. For many Scorpio individuals, this realization arrives gently. One day the past simply feels different, like a landscape that shaped strength and insight along the way. The future begins to feel wider, filled with possibilities that once seemed distant. And as this inner power continues to awaken within Scorpio, the journey begins to move toward a new chapter altogether. A moment where all these experiences begin to gather into the next stage of the path. The journey we have moved through together carries a certain quiet weight, Scorpio. Somewhere along the path, challenges shaped strength in ways that only time can reveal. Experiences settled into the heart like stones beneath a river, forming a steady foundation that now holds something stronger, something ready. Every transformation that touched Scorpio left behind a deeper awareness. Each moment of reflection added another layer of clarity, another glimpse of the inner landscape where wisdom slowly gathers. Through these passages, Scorpio began to understand the rhythm of change, the quiet way life prepares a new chapter long before it becomes visible. And now, the sky itself seems to echo that movement. Subtle planetary shifts begin to open space for fresh momentum, inviting Scorpio into a phase that feels wider, more expansive. The energy of the coming days carries the sense that something meaningful is beginning to unfold, gently guiding Scorpio toward a new horizon. This new chapter rarely arrives with loud announcements. It often begins with a single thought that feels different, a decision that carries quiet certainty, a moment when the heart recognizes a direction that once remained hidden. In those small yet powerful moments, Scorpio steps forward into a new version of the journey. The strength Scorpio carries today comes from every season that came before it. Each challenge refined awareness, each lesson shaped resilience, each transformation awakened another level of inner power. These layers now move together like a calm current, guiding Scorpio toward the next stage of growth. There is a quiet beauty in this moment. The past feels complete in its own way, and the future begins to open like a path through soft morning light. Somewhere within that space between memory and possibility, Scorpio stands at the threshold of something new. Perhaps the most meaningful realization arrives here. A new chapter always begins within the heart first, as a gentle recognition that the soul is ready to move forward again. And when Scorpio listens closely to that inner signal, the path ahead begins to feel alive with possibility. Before you leave, write this affirmation in the comments and welcome the new energy arriving for Scorpio. My next chapter begins now. And if this message resonated with you, feel free to leave a like or share it with someone who might also need this quiet moment of reflection. When these conversations reach more hearts, the energy of understanding continues to travel outward. You are always welcome to stay connected here as well. By subscribing to the channel, you keep walking alongside future messages created for Scorpio and the unfolding rhythm of the stars. And sometimes the next insight arrives exactly when the soul feels ready to hear it.